Hello, welcome back to the Coleman channel, and welcome back to another installment of Behind the Process, the series where we talk about the behind the scenes making of things. Oh boy, and today's episode is probably the deepest dive that I could possibly do, the deepest cut from my creative lore, I guess you would call it. God, where did I even start with this one? Well, I mean, you probably read the title of the video, you've probably seen the thumbnail for the video, nuts and bolts. So, this is a thing that I've mentioned before a couple of times. You wouldn't have seen it on this channel, been like through Soup Group maybe. I don't know if I ever mentioned on Soup Group, but my friends over at Soup Group definitely knew about nuts and bolts. Oh god. Basically, okay, so let's start from the beginning. Like I said, this is going to be a deep cut from my creative lore, making videos and stuff. The reason why I want to talk about it is because it's very interesting. It kind of shows how long I've been wanting to make creative stuff, I suppose. How long that whole desire to make creative things has been going on for pretty much the entire of my whole life, I would have said. And this is a good example of me trying to do that many years ago when I was a little idiot child. That's how long ago it is. And yeah, I just want to talk about where the whole idea came from, what that was like making this kind of stuff as a young kid. And yeah, just I guess how exciting then it was, and how I very much feel the same about making content now. And just to show you how far I've come, I suppose, in terms of like wanting to make stuff, and the stuff I learned while making it as well. Because honestly, I did manage to pick a couple of things up while making this funny animated series. Oh, let's just get into it. So, Nuts and Bolts is, well, it's an animated comedy show. It was an animated comedy show that I made all the way back in 2010. Literally a whole decade ago when this show started. I probably at this point, as of the first video I ever made, is officially 12 years old at this point in time, which is, you know, absolutely terrifying and puts the fear of God into me in terms of how fast time flies. I'm 24 years old at this current point in time. So I would have been about 12 years old. 12 years old when I decided to start making nuts and bolts videos on a YouTube channel that you're not going to know about, because this YouTube channel is actually my normal YouTube channel outside of Coleman that I use to watch YouTube videos and, you know, all that kind of stuff. My casual YouTube channel, I suppose you call it. So you're not going to know what that is, and you're not going to see any of these videos anytime soon. You'll be seeing some clips and snippets throughout the video while I'm talking about it. But yeah, you are just not going to see these. Yeah, so the first video came out on the 14th of January 2010, so I wouldn't have been I would have been like 11 years old, because my birthday's on the 27th of February, so I would have been 11 years old when I dropped the first ever video of Nuts and Bolts. And it is an animated comedy series. I don't know how you describe it, maybe surrealist. Yeah, surrealist is probably the only way to describe it, honestly. Sitcom, maybe, you know, there was a bit of a plot running throughout the whole thing. And yes, that's basically all I can talk. It's a fucking comedy show. Sitcom surrealist comedy series starring two little characters, the namesakes of the show. And you're gonna be able to see them here right now. Watch this. I'll explain later. There they are there.
Hey, Bolts.
Yes, Nuts.
There's my two little darlings that I hold very near my that I hold very near and dear to my heart, Nuts and Bolts. For the record, the name did not come from that one Banjo-Kazooie game, Nuts and Bolts. I had no idea what Banjo-Kazooie was when I was 11 years old. The name Nuts and Bolts literally came from, you know, they're two little robot guys, as you just saw. One's called Nuts and one is called Bolts. Nuts is the little green dude, and the best way to describe him is he's just essentially a fucking crazy, whacked out psychopath robot All his wires are misplaced, and he's just been around for that long that he's kind of insane. He kind of looks like Ben from Treasure Planet, and I guess the same idea comes into play there, except a lot more unhinged and LOL totally random, because you know that was the big humor in 2010 on the internet, was LOL totally random kind of things, and that's definitely fits in that category. And Bolts, who is the blue little dude with the two lamps on the sides of his head, is a very neurotic, highly strung, frustrated, moany little bastard. And the two of them are very much polar opposites, and they basically just get into funny little scrapes together as friends. One of them just absolutely hates him, and the other one just kind of loves him very much and just pokes fun at him and just makes his life a living hell. And yeah, that's basically the general idea and who those two people are. And now you know. For the record, I didn't design these dudes. I didn't animate or mold them or sculpt them. I didn't use Blender or something like that. No. And that's where we're going to get into how the show got made. I made Nuts and Bolts via a do-it-yourself animation website. At the time, it was a website called Extra Normal, XTRA Normal, which is all one word. And for what it was, like as a free do-it-yourself animation website, it was actually pretty cool. Like, it was just cool, bro. It was a really cool website. It kind of helped you learn the basics of a lot of stuff, like camera angles, cutaways, script writing, all that kind of stuff. Like, all of that was there. So basically how it worked was, you picked your set, you picked your characters, in this case 2 of your characters. There's different like character models you could pick and stuff, different sets, different collections of people like human beings or robots or different animation styles. You picked where they were standing in the set, and then you would just write the scripts. You would like cut back and forth between the 2 characters, what they were going to say, pick their animations, like if they're going to like wave or do this or stuff like that, and then you could add cutaway to this guy, cutaway to that guy, you know, have the 2 there, close-up shot, behind the head shot, all that kind of stuff. Add music and all that kind of thing as well. So yeah, honestly, for a free animation website, do-it-yourself animation site, it was actually really cool and had a lot of stuff inside it as well. Like, there was a lot of options, and like I said, it was quite a good learning experience. That's like probably the best thing I ever got out of making Nuts and Bolts. Was from a young age, I was starting to understand the basics of camera angles and cutaways and script writing, and you know, doing beat by beat conversation and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Extra Normal, that's the website that's what I used to make this show. I think Extra Normal is still a thing. I don't think it's a free website at all. It's like definitely not like a massive site like it was 10 years ago. I think it's just a very simple like web page, and you have to like buy it now. I don't know if it's a one-time purchase or whatever. I've no idea. I've not used it since it was free. And the last time I used it was like 2012. When it was a thing, it was really cool. I got introduced to it from a friend in like in school at that point in time. He was making videos on it. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. That's the kind of thing that I like to do, is like make shows. And even then, like, when I was a stupid idiot child, I was like, damn, man, I want to make it big on YouTube, bro. I want to make all these very epic little shows and make funny things, online internet stuff. So as a result, I started going on Extra Normal and started making videos just on my normal YouTube channel, whatever it was called at that point. I've changed the name many times as the years have went on, but whatever the channel was called then, I used it to make Nuts and Bolts videos. And somehow they actually amassed, like, I think the biggest viewed video was like 182 views somehow. I don't know how the hell that happened. That's like more views than any videos are on the Coleman channel right now. Oh god. That's kind of the very basic idea of what Extra Normal is, what Nuts and Bolts was. I made 9 episodes of Nuts and Bolts starting from the 14th of January 2010 all the way to apparently Christmas Eve of 2012 was the last video that I uploaded for that series. I don't know why I did it on Christmas Eve. It's very strange, but there were 9 episodes. 2 seasons, can you believe that? 5 episodes in the first season, and then I made 4 for the second one. You know, that wasn't even like the only thing that I did on Extra Normal. There was another thing that I tried to break out into doing, called Raffle Shorts.
How do you like your fate so far, Mr. Zappy?
What the hell?
I don't even know you.
If you must know, I'm the G-Man.
Right. Why have you locked me up?
Because
Why?
I said so.
Because I said so. Why?
Look, I'm doing this because I feel like it. Okay?
But you do know this animation was made using extra normal, right?
So what?
Well, if you think about it, that lever doesn't work. That button doesn't work either. This lava pit is fake, so if the button even worked and I fell in, I would not die. We're on the same page here, aren't we?
Up yours.
It was 2010, okay? I was a young child, an innocent child who did not know any better. This is the first thing that I made on Extra Normal, was this Raffle Shorts thing. It was just a funny little 50-second video about, you know, a little funny conversation about funny things. I wanted to make more of those, but I ended up not doing that at all. But it doesn't matter, because we're talking about nuts and bolts. So I basically just want to walk you through a handful of them that I remember significantly while I was making them. Ones I have the most fondest memories for, and the ones that I have the best examples of, like, wow, I'm learning about camera angles and cutaways and all that kind of stuff. So we might as well start off with the first episode, Nuts and Bolts, episode 1. What's a gem? A gem! You may be asking yourself, well, Coleman, what the hell are you talking about? That's not a word. What the hell is a gem? What are you talking about? What is this thing that you're saying to me? A gem? What's a gem? Well, that's in the title of the episode, isn't it? Isn't that funny? Well, let me just fucking explain to you for a quick second. So, when I wanted to make this funny show about two little robots having a funny back and forth conversation with each other, I think it was actually an Extra Normal video that I watched with the same two characters, the little teal robot and the little blue robot, in the same setting as the first episode. Actually, this weird like robot town, looks like something out of Robots, the movie. I can't remember what the video was about. I think it was some sort of verbal threat, and like they were talking about stuff, and they had a funny conversation. And I got the idea off The Simpsons, if you can actually believe that, because I think I just watched a funny video on The Simpsons on YouTube at one point, and literally it was just the one funny little joke. I can't remember the episode of The Simpsons, but it was the one where Homer discovers the gym, and then he gets pretty buff, he starts lifting weights and stuff, and the whole joke was literally, you know, Homer's a big fat idiot man, and he walks past the gym and he goes,
Game? What's a game?
and I went, ha, that's funny. What if we made a funny episode all about how Nuts asks Bolts what a game is? Do you see what's going on here? I think the whole idea, I didn't know how to spell the word game, because it's G-Y-M, gym. Obviously, you know how to fucking spell the word gym, but obviously it looks like game to Homer. I'm like, I wanted to know how to spell the word game, and to me it was G-I-M-E, right? Maybe, I don't know. And then it turns out that wasn't the case for the auto generation voice thing, like Speakonia, you know, Microsoft Speakonia, which is an application that's like a bot that says words from words that you type. That's what Extra Normal used for the voice of the characters, was the Speakonia voices. And, you know, obviously that's not going to know how to say the word game. It doesn't know what the word game is. So G-I-M-E turned out into Gem for this video, and as a child I did not know what to do about it. I just thought, well, oh well, we're gonna go with it. It's what's a gem, and that was what happened after that, which is pretty hilarious, isn't it?
What's a gem? What? There is no such thing as a gem.
Some human mentioned a gem on a TV show.
It's always with you, isn't it?
Do you mean the Force is always with me?
No.
See, the whole funny joke is Nuts asks him what a gem is, Bolt's is like, what? There is no such thing as a gem. And then they have a funny chat about what are you fucking talking about, watching Simpsons in the year 3010. Yeah, it was 1,000 years into the future. And then Nuts, the whole joke about Nuts is he was very aware of the fact that he was an animated character, and an animation program was the whole joke. Like I said, it's a funny, surrealist, fourth wall. I was very much into the whole fourth wall breaking thing, apparently. I must have thought that was hilarious at that point in time.
Because this is an animation made using the Extra Normal website. Is there a problem?
Yes, you always think about that fake website. Soon you're going to wake up and realize this is real time. I'm out of here. I don't even know how I keep bumping into you here anyway. And it's a gym, not a gym.
Guess he still doesn't know. Might as well keep it secret. Silly old bonk of a robot.
Yeah, nuts to wear the fact that he's in a website called Extra Normal. And this is all fake nonsense. It's actually 2010. It's all fake. It's fake, man. It's fake. And then Bolts walks away, saying he doesn't know why he keeps bumping into him. And then I guess that's the first time that they meet properly. I guess that's the whole idea. And that's actually, that becomes a through line for the rest of the series, is Nuts trying to convince Bolts that they're in a fake animated world, which all comes to head in the second episode, which is the one that I remember the most making for many different reasons, and it's simply called The Green Screen. Because one of the cool things about Extra Normal is one of the sets they had was literally just a green screen. Now you know why. Ooh, look, wow. They're here. Isn't it totally fucking crazy? Yeah, it's a green screen episode, so they made this whole set so you can put your little characters anywhere, basically. And as a child, I had no idea how a green screen worked. I didn't know what a green screen was. So to my mind, it was literally just a set that was a massive green room, and I didn't really understand it or why they had that in the first place. But, you know, obviously now working with green screens and, you know, being an adult who knows how films work, I know what a green screen is now. But yeah, the green screen episode is one I remember very well because I was extremely proud of it. For all the reasons, like I said before, there's a lot of actually quite cool cutaways and camera angles that are in use during this episode, like where they're all talking to each other. It's very, when both of them are talking to each other, it's very fluid. And even watching it now, I'm like, yeah, this, like, there's just a feel like the cutaway comes out of nowhere. It looks stupid, like I'm an 11-year-old idiot who's just like throwing camera angles around the place because it's cool. It actually kind of makes sense for when people are talking, like when someone's in the middle of a sentence and then it cuts to them while they're talking and stuff. And I kind of like the idea, honestly, of just these two in a little green room. All the humour that came from the show, was literally just them talking and just talking about absolute nonsense. Like there wasn't a underlying plot of crazy things happening. Sometimes it would just be the two of them ending up in a weird place and just getting into a ridiculous conversation about something, which I still think is pretty cool in its own weird, not funny 11-year-old kind of way. I just remember being extremely proud of this one and enjoying it because of the camera angles and the funny conversations they had and stuff. And then obviously breaks the fourth wall because they talk to the quote animator unquote to prove to Bolts that they are indeed in Extra Normal and all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely totally crazy.
Hello, animator. If you can hear US, answer back with your fancy sounds. Good stuff. Can you get us out of here? I think he died of a heart attack because he figured out we were alive and we knew he was there.
Jesus Christ, nuts.
I remember being incredibly pissed when I finished the video because I still had a few issues of spelling words. Like, definitely. It's still a word that I find very difficult to spell. And I guess my brain just shut off. I was typing a lot of it. Like I just said, there was a line where Nuts is trying to convince Bolts Extra Normal's real, and he's like, you should believe it sometimes. It's like trying to believe in karma and luck. You know, people trying to believe in karma and luck, I suppose. And then Bolts says he believes in neither. And then he was supposed to just say karma and luck was scientifically proven to be simple modern myths. And for some reason, I typed karma and luck twice.
Because nuts, karma and luck was scientifically proven that karma and luck are simple modern myths.
And that still continues to really annoy me to this day when I watch it. Like, why the hell did I not notice that? Because I've been, you know, you have to watch it over. It's like editing any other video. You gotta watch the video over and over again to make sure everything's fine and working, and you've not made any mistakes. Apart from noticing karma and luck being said twice, probably didn't notice that. I couldn't spell superstition because Bolt says something like superstition or some shit. Then there's a line where Bolts again says, you should just be happy that I believe you now. And I didn't say no, I said no, so he says, you just be happy that I believe you know. Which kind of works, I guess. Like, you should be happy that I believe you know, but it was not meant to be like that at all. And then, the funniest part of the whole video, I think, is I was trying to make Bolts say uh-oh at one point in time. I just couldn't comprehend that just because you type something, the bot should understand what it is. And I'd always be very confused, like, why? Scratching my little 11-year-old brain, like, why is Spikonia not noticing what I'm trying to get it to say? I just wanted to say uh-oh. But it didn't notice that. Instead, it says aho. It literally basically not says aho.
Ho.
Which is hilarious to me. And that's episode 2 of the green screen. And episode 1, what's a gem? What's a game? I don't know. Don't ask me questions. This is probably the weirdest. This is probably the weirdest behind the process done so far. Okay, just roll with it. I promise. Now we're gonna go for a few of these because I think the longest video I did was like 3 minutes, nearly 4 minutes long. They're all very bite-sized little episodes. They're all very short. Go from like a minute to 2 minutes to 3. So I can grab a handful of them and talk to you about them, the ones I liked the most or remember the most. Episode 3, The Hangover. My goodness Christ, would you believe this? So, everyone's favourite comedy starring heartthrob Zach Galifianakis, The Hangover. I think the first film came out in 2010 and I knew about it. It was all over the place, and being an 11-year-old child, I had no idea what alcohol was or what it really did. I was a very naive child. I had no idea I knew what getting drunk was, but I didn't know what a hangover was. A hangover, from what it seemed in the movie, was they get so drunk that they run around and do crazy things, and then they don't remember any of it. I thought that was the hangover. That whole thing happening where you do crazy stuff you don't remember the day after, I thought that itself was a hangover. I didn't know that a hangover at that point was drinking like fuck and then waking up and your head's splitting and you want to die and you want to curl up in a ball and suffer and eat copious amounts of fat to make yourself feel better. That's a hangover. To me, at that point, a hangover was getting blackout drunk and doing crazy stuff and then not remember it the next day. But that's the whole plot of this episode.
Alright, nuts. We must have drank 10 pints of motor oil and passed out. Now we got a red spray paint and tallness operation done to us both. Oh man, we must have had a hangover.
Nuts and bolts pass out from drinking 10 whole pints. Bruh. These guys are absolutely totally crazy. 10 pints. Madness. And they wake up. And I made this one because I thought I wanted to try out these other models of these two characters, because there was the same characters with like different paint jobs on them. So I picked nuts and bolts and I made them red this time around. And listen to this, bruh. So they're in a bar, they run a bar, they're working in a bar after they escaped the green screen. See, wow, it continues over, it's a whole plot, crazy stuff. And they're totally freaking pissed. And they're both drunk at this point, but they must have had a hangover because they forgot everything, but they're still drunk. Yes. And they're red. And I thought they were taller. This is ridiculous. I'm basically trying to make you understand what my 11-year-old brain was thinking. When there was the list of characters, and the red dudes in the menu looked taller than the original nuts and bolts. I don't know if they were actually taller in the video. You certainly couldn't notice it, but I thought, wouldn't that be hilarious? They're taller, and they're red. So they got so drunk they basically had robot plastic surgery. They had what I called a red spray paint operation and a tallness transplant. And then the whole plot is they need to get out of there before the red paint sets in and dries, and Bolts is trying to sober up nuts so they can run away. And then at the end they realise, oh my god, it's too late, so I was going to have them go, ah, so you have to type in a bunch of A's and a bunch of H's. But I basically actually just typed in A. So instead of going, ah, so a lot of A's and a few H's, I went, ah. Basically typed in A and all the rest of them were the letter H. So instead of them both going, ah, instead they go, A, H, 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 H.
You passed out, nuts. You must have had a hangover walk. Luckily I got out of mine first. And by the way, You got a red spray paint and tallness transplant done to you as well.
Jesus Christ. We need to go and fix it.
Oh no. Nuts. I think my spray paint has set.
You're right, Bolts. I'm set as well.
AHHHHHH.
AHHHHHH.
So that's the first 3 episodes that I did. Literally, they were within 2 days of one another. Not even. The first one was on the 14th of January, and the other 2, the green screen and the Hangover, made on the same day, the 15th. So as you can tell, I was having a hell of a lot of fun, and I was making them a lot. Pretty much all of them were made in January of 2010, and then the others were made in February, and then I didn't upload until August again, and then I stopped uploading videos after that, which is hilarious. And I didn't bring it back until the 6th of May 2012. And this is actually pretty cool because I never looked at Extra Normal till that point, and I think they updated the whole thing. The character models are more animated, there was more animation, there was more animations that they could do, the sets were bigger, there was more music, you could add title crawls to the video, which is pretty absolutely totally insane. It was pretty cool, and it was very exciting at that point in time to have all this new cool little things to mess around with. And this is where I was starting to become more of a, edgy teen, we're going to start using swear words, man. But I was actually pretty hesitant at using swear words. I would use words like bastard and bloody and stuff like that. I was like, what is the line here? Do you know what I mean?
How dare you? This is my birthplace, you senile bastard. This is the place of my origins. If it weren't for this bloody place, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you now.
As a 14-year-old boy, who's starting to become more free with his sweary words and all that kind of stuff. How much swears did I want to use in Nuts and Bolts when it was just originally an innocent child's show? I don't know what the hell I don't know why I was so terrified of swearing and other. I would swear like a trooper anyway, but I just would not put swears in writing for some reason. It seemed more taboo for some ungodly reason. You can kind of get an idea of this one here, Extra Robotics, I think this one's called. It's more plot driven actually. The whole idea is the Bolt's taking Nuts to try and fix his faulty wiring. He's taking him to his old place of origin where he got built and stuff like that. I think I got the whole idea because Bolt's character model has Extra Robotics on his back, and I was like, oh, what if they explored the secrets of Extra Robotics? What if they made that a whole thing? I also had a massive habit. I loved referencing past stuff. I just couldn't stop mentioning, oh, by the way, remember all these other episodes where all this stuff happened? And I literally had a whole bit where Bolt's just lists everything that Nuts has done for the last couple of episodes. I just thought it was the best thing ever. Wow, remember that. So here's Bolt's to explain all the ridiculous things that happened in all the last episodes I'm not talking about today, and you can get an idea of what actually happened in my brain.
Don't you get that your brains have gone to absolute bullshit? Come on. A gene, state, extra normal, red spray paint and height operation, killing me, turning me into a woman, and ruining the apology video.
Come on, Bowles. I was young and foolish then.
It was 2 years ago. It was 4010. Now it's 4012.
Let's just talk about the last episode that ever got made, The Grid of Danger Doom. Yes, Danger Doom. I did actually reference MF fucking Doom in 2012. Even when I had no idea who he was. I think the only reason why I got the word Danger Doom was because it was in, I think, Saints Row the Third. Have you ever played that game? There was a radio station that just played Adult Swim music. You know, the cartoon channel that has like Rick and Morty and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and stuff. MF Doom did a lot of music stuff for them, and they did a collaboration album with MF Doom and a guy called Danger Mouse, and it was all sampling some Adult Swim cartoons, and together they were called Danger Doom. I had no idea it was MF Doom at that point, but I loved the word, so I used the word. And it's almost just a carbon copy of the green screen episode, but me making it, I was like 14. But there was certainly a lot of fucks in it, because, you know, total edgelord 14-year-old kid.
This isn't fucking 1666. This isn't where Satan fucking rained down and there was no World War V.
But I must say, over that course, I was very good at maintaining the different characteristics of the two characters. And it's honestly quite prominent in this episode where nuts. It's a senile, insane idiot who is very Deadpool-y, fourth wall breaking, can speak to the audience and speak to the and speak to the animator and all that stuff. And Bolts is just incredibly neurotic, miserable. Everyone hates him. I guess almost kind of like an Arnold Rimmer character in Red Dwarf. That's a very deep cut, but if you know who that is, it's kind of almost what Bolts is, who thinks he's the shit, and he just is the complete opposite of that, basically. And yeah, very highly strung and neurotic and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of comes through in that episode, honestly. And I also just thought there was a few funnies in there, still, especially like the end sequence where Bolt's about to get blown up and they cut back and forth to each other and just like make hand motions to each other, and then Nuts just talks to the camera asking them about the weather. Pretty funny stuff.
Don't bullshit yourself, kid. You're going to be blown to bits today. Well, shit. So how about that weather, eh?
And I think that will do for this episode of Behind the Process. I just thought this would be a fun one to do. Talk about a deep cut from my past, my antics on this very website 10 years ago, 12 years ago at this point. At the end, when you had to export the extra normal videos on the YouTube, they're on extra normal as well as YouTube, and it would always add their own little blurb thing at the end of the video to make you go on the website, and it said, if you can type, you can make movies. And honestly, they were absolutely right, because I certainly made a couple of quote movies unquote on extra normal, and I have a lot of very fond memories of doing it. I have a lot of nostalgia and love for my two little robot dudes, even though I didn't design them or anything, but they were my characters. I made up their characteristics and who they were and all that kind of stuff. And you know what, there's still a thing or two in there that I went, you know what, damn, I was making stuff then, and it's led up to me making stuff now. So I guess the making of things, this particular process behind the scenes is behind the scenes of me and making stuff, and they'll come up to now 10 years later basically, and the stuff I was making then. And you know, I was wanting to make stuff all the way back then when I was a kid, and it's not changed at all basically. Probably more ways than one. But yes, it's a big part of my life, nuts and bolts, and I love the two little fucking idiots very much. Maybe one day we'll make completely free from getting copyrighted by extra normal animated nuts and bolts show again someday, many years in the future. I don't know, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool, full circle moment for me. But yes, that's behind the scenes, the making of Nuts and Bolts, the extra normal animation, cartoon, surrealist, fourth wall breaking, ridiculous, absurdist, child-like comedy show that I made all the way as a kid 10 years ago. Like I said, I'm not going to make the episodes public because that would mean exposing my normal YouTube channel. I don't know what we'll do with that, but there'll be, as you probably have seen in the video, there'll be plenty of clips to give you an idea of what the show was and all that kind of stuff, and you know, the best bits, to be quite honest. So yes, there is a quick, short and sweet, funny little, probably a very late April. I'm recording this on April Fool's Day, but it's not going to be out at that point. A belated April Fool's episode, I guess. I don't know. Tying it in with nuts and bolts. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned for more Behind the Process. Stay tuned for more of the tube review. I've got some more movies I've got an idea of to do reviews of. Stay tuned for the next Coleman's Career Perspective. The script is still getting hammered out now. I'll be here some point. I don't know when, but I will. Check out Coleman Live on Twitch. That's all the things. Goodbye, nuts and bolts.
Good stuff. Can you get us out of here?